Let's talk about your favorite mayor, Brandon Johnson. He's celebrating his mayorship of 100 days of being the mayor of Chicago. And one of their local news reporters sat down and talked to him. I think her name is Dana Kozlov, and talked about his progress. So let's see what he had to say.
Day mark leading the city on the campaign trail. He made some big promises. So the question now is, has he kept them?
CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov sat down with the mayor to talk about his progress. Dana.
Erica and Chris, during his campaign, the mayor said crime was the #1 concern facing Chicagoans, and it is still a top concern. He's named his pick to be the next police superintendent, but during our 10-minute interview today, I wanted to talk more about other steps he's taken. What one or two things has your administration done specifically to combat street crime?
Well, as you know, that public safety is top of mind for everyone, especially someone like me who is raising a family in Austin.
Mayor Brandon Johnson is always quick to remind people he knows the perils and challenges of the streets. He says in his first 100 days, his commitment to getting at the root causes of crime and making streets safer hasn't wavered. It's why he named a first ever deputy mayor of public safety, Garyon Gatewood.
Everybody that comes to this city thinks about safety. Right?
But what more has his administration done?
24,000 young people were employed for summer positions that we are working to build capacity for year-round positions, also working with the faith community, the business community, the philanthropic community to make critical investments.
Can you give me a couple specific examples?
24,000 young people working, that is a public safety plan.
The employment is concrete. The others, though, are just, in my opinion, and so we could agree to disagree, are not concrete examples. They are what you're hoping and planning to do.
No, that's not a hope, and I'm glad that your opinion is not the prevailing opinion of people that I talk to all over the city of Chicago.
You see, he got mad. He got mad because she called him out saying, this is not concrete things that you're doing. And you're talking about, oh, you talked to the people in Chicago. What about that lady? You know, a couple of days ago, I showed you, and probably was yesterday, the lady, young man, her nephew was shot. 14-year-old boy, he was shot. She saw his shoes in the front lawn, and apparently he got shot out of his shoes, and he died on the side of a neighbor's house. And she said one thing, she prepared him to be a good kid academically, but she didn't prepare him how to survive Chicago, the gun violence. So are you really talking to your neighbors? Are you talking to the people of Chicago? Because they're mad as hell, even with the immigration. They're mad. So who are you talking to? Not your constituents, you're not. And if you are you really listening to them?
Do you know what people ask me all over the city of Chicago, what I've experienced over the first 100 days? How can they be helpful?
During our first campaign sit-down in February, Johnson said getting young people employed was top of his list. A CBS 2 public records request shows as of the end of this June, just under 20,000 youth had been hired in the city's one summer program.
Do you think you've since, in the last few weeks, reached the 24,000
So we have 24,000 young people that have been hired for the summer.
Our data shows 20,000.
We have 24,000 young people that have been hired for summer positions. Other administrations have not had my laser focus on investing in people. And just know that I am very much committed to investing in people.
I should note we are waiting on another public records request to get the final number of young people employed by the city this year. When I asked Mayor Johnson what his next priority is, he says it's his Bring Chicago Home initiative, which would provide a tax break for working people and address homelessness. Erica and Chris?
Very compelling.
Yeah, bring Chicago home. But, you know, they're talking about in Chicago on how they could tax real estate to kind of subsidize some of these programs that Mayor Brandon Johnson wants to initiate. So, and I'm assuming these are real estate transfer tax or tax on certain properties of a certain value. So, of course, you're taxing people over a certain dollar amount. That's one problem that they're facing. But let me show you this about Brandon Johnson.
My question is, what's the cost to the city of Chicago when seniors and individuals with disabilities can't move around in the city of Chicago because the season has changed. The One Fair Wage Ordinance. This ordinance was introduced today, which would eliminate the sub-minimum wage for tip workers. Stronger.
And we're grateful to have our mayor with us today to come out and see and tour some of the damage.
It's devastating. We are the city of Chicago, and we pride ourselves of being available for one another. The City Council approved the resolution to hold subject matter hearings for treatment, not trauma.
And the motion passes.
Bringing Chicago home is a tremendous step in the fight to end homelessness. Safer.
We expect a rapid expansion of youth paid opportunities this summer.
I love this program so much, and I believe this program is a chance for teenagers to get off the streets and actually be active in the world.
Chief Larry Snelling has been chosen to lead the Chicago Police Department.
We are rooted in constitutional policing, and we're always seeking justice.
Together, we can build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. We just have to look deep into the soul of Chicago. Can I get a witness?
So you should feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So, hey, Jackass, he put that up there. That's his Twitter name. He also put up this. This is some stats. First full 90 days. Now we're looking at comparison from Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He served 2 terms, and this is his 2nd term. Comparison Mayor Lori Lightfoot to Mayor Brandon Johnson. So in the first 90 days, Mayor Emanuel had 145 people shot and killed in his first 90 days. Now, is it his fault that these people came out and start killing each other? No, he didn't hold the gun, but this city is under your leadership. So Emanuel had 145 killed, shot and killed. Lightfoot, 133, slight lower than Emanuel. But Brandon Johnson, his first 90 days, he had a whopping 171 people killed by gun violence. Shot and wounded. Emanuel had 119, Lori Lightfoot 113, and Johnson, of course, he's higher. It's 838. Total shot 1,009. Johnson reached over 1,000. Everybody else was under 900. You got 964 for Emanuel, and total shot for Lori was 946. And he said a total homicides in the first 90 days. Emanuel had 164, Lightfoot 150, and 191 for Brandon Johnson. So stats don't lie. Brandon Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson. My question is to you, do you feel like you're doing a good job? Apparently he does. But do things get worse before they get better? I don't know. Seem like they're getting pretty bad in Chicago. This last weekend, they had actually 40 people shot, 40-something odd people shot, and 7 people killed in Chicago. But you have Brandon Johnson saying you can't demonize the kids. We don't want you demonizing our kids. It doesn't make any sense. And he's trying to get 24,000, well, I guess he got 24,000 people off the street, kids, so they could do something. But if you're soft on crime, the kids that's walking around with shoot them up, bang, bang, the illegal guns, the illegal weapons, do you think they get a job? You're saving some kids. I give you that. You are saving some kids to keep them off the street, to keep them busy. But the ones that you didn't want to demonize, do you think they're in the summer program? Do you think they really want to work? I'm just, you guys put it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know if you think these kids that he don't want to demonize will be in the summer program. So that's all I got to say about that.